Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hockey fans of all ages. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Scabbard. I'm Dave Valente. We've got a busy night tonight. Before we get started, wherever you're watching us from, whether it's Twitch, Twitter, Twix, all the other fun sites, Facebook, YouTube, give us a like, share, subscribe. Let you know when we're broadcasting and get you into game night before a Sabres game. So it's a busy night in the NHL tonight. All 32 teams are in action in 30 and 16 separate games, starting every 15 minutes. Starting now, actually, the Capitals and the Flyers are kicking off this night of hockey every 15 minutes until I believe 10:30, or I'm sorry, until 10:15, and then there's a late game that starts at 11. That game should be getting done close to 2 o'clock. So from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. on the East Coast, you got hockey well spaced out. So you'll never have to sit through an intermission if you don't want to. But I'm excited. So we'll talk about the games going on tonight. We've got the Capitals and Flyers starting at 6:15. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's 6:30. So that does not go over 15 minutes. So 6:30, we got the Wild and the Panthers. Then we start the 15-minute increments. Lightning at Devils at 6:45. At 7 p.m., our Sabres take on the Dallas Stars. At 7:15, the Canadians host the Rangers. At 7:30, the Maple Leafs are in Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets. The Detroit Red Wings, the only team in the Atlantic Division that is below us at this point, uh, is on the island to take on the Islanders at 7:45. At 8 o'clock, the Blues host the Jets. Both teams are off to a good start in their in that Central Division, including as well as the team that we're facing tonight. It's going to be a very competitive division there in the Central. The Vancouver Canucks will be in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks, who we just defeated. We'll talk about that game in a moment. The Avalanche and the Kraken start at 8:30. That is an ESPN game. The Capitals and Flyers game at 6 is an ESPN game as well. The Bruins are in Nashville to take on the winless Predators. The pressure is really starting to mount on the Predators because you got 3 teams in the division that are already off to pretty decent starts, and the Predators had a little bit more, expectations going into the season, getting, like, Stamkos and players like that in the offseason. They made the biggest free agency splash, early in the, free agency period, so, the Hurricanes are in Edmonton to take on the kinda disappointing, Edmonton Oilers, who are at 2 and 4 on the season. The Ottawa Senators take their first trip to Salt Lake City to take on the Utah Hockey Club. The Penguins are in Calgary to take on the Flames, who are off to a really good start as well. The San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks are set to take the ice at 10:15 p.m. That's the end of the 30-minute or the 15-minute increment games. Um, Actually, no, that the 9:30 game is the last, the 15-minute increment games. Then you've got the 10:15 start for the Sharks and Ducks, and then finally we jump to 11 o'clock for the Kings and the Golden Knights from Las Vegas. So a full night of hockey. Get comfortable, enjoy the night. I actually got to go to bed early, which is kind of disappointing, but a full night of hockey. This is what we train for, ladies and gentlemen, as far as hockey fans go. So anyway, let's talk about the night that the Sabres had on Saturday. It was a decent win. I mean, nothing too crazy. Um, win's a win. I wasn't too disappointed. They got up to nothing pretty quickly. They gave it up in the second before JJ Peterka scored towards the end of the period to give the Sabres their final lead. It was a really good defensive effort in the third period. I think Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen had some really good saves. I thought he didn't look great on the goals that he gave up, but you know, he did enough to get the win. And the concern is one, they gave up another lead. They got out to a 2-0 lead against Pittsburgh, 3-1 lead against Pittsburgh, and then they lost that game. They were able to win this game, but they're allowing teams to get back into the game, which is that is concerning. And then of course the power play is still awful. Like I think they were over 4 or 5 in that game. And when a power play goal would give them the chance to really put a game away like that, they had to struggle to the end, getting the empty netter at the end of the game from Ron Cloud. So good news, Paterka and McLeod are on goal streaks, so that's a good thing. Hopefully, those can continue here against the Dallas Stars tonight. So let's talk about the Dallas Stars. They're coming on a very hot team. They are off to a fast start, second in the Central Division with a 5-1 record. The Winnipeg Jets are, I think, 5-0 at this point. So um, they are technically atop the Central Division, even though they have the same amount of points. Rope Hintz and Logan Stankhoven are in the team tied for the team lead with 7 points. Stankhoven are all assists, while Hintz has 3 goals and 4 assists. And then Jake Ottinger, what can you say about this guy? I mean, he's played most of the games for the Stars. The starter just got a big contract extension. It's a 1.48 goals against average and a 953 save percentage and 4 wins this season. Is the Sabres' toughest test so far this season. You could have said, well, the Florida Panthers came in, defending Stanley Cup champions, but the Panthers were injured. The Stars, as we look at their lineup tonight, is it's full bore, and we'll see that in a moment. But the 3 keys to the game: we got to tighten up on defense. The goals we give against Chicago, they were kind of iffy, both on the goaltending side and the defensive side. So still tightening up on defense, keep that tight D. Got to generate more shots. They didn't generate enough shots, and then the power play. The power plays was just absolute disaster. Um, and that's going to stay a key to the game until they can actually get the power play going. Let's take a look at the stars forwards tonight. The first line, Jason Robertson, who's a fantastic young player, Rope Hintz, and Logan Stankoven, which may be the best name in hockey. Well, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is also a fantastic name. Second line is Mason Marchment, Matt Duchesne, and Tyler Seguin. Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston, and Evgeny Dadonov on the third line, and Colin Blackwell, Sam Steele, and Maverick Bork. Another great name on the fourth line. The Stars defensive pairs. You got Mira Heiskanen, great young defenseman with Matthew Dunbar, Essa Lindell with Nils Lundqvist, Thomas Harley with Ilya Labushkin, former Saber alert. And the Stars goalies tonight. Unfortunately, we're not going to catch a break with this one because it looks like we're getting Jake Ottinger in the nets, Casey DeSmith, the former Penguin, and I believe he was with the Kraken for a little bit, joining the Stars as a backup goaltender. The Stars scratches and injuries. It's a very clean slate for the Stars. No one is injured. Three scratched: Owen Back, Brendan Smith, and Alexander Petrovic. Sabres forwards per NHL.com. We've got JJ Peterka, Tage Thompson, and Alex Tuck on the first line. Uri Kulik, Dylan Cousins, and Jack Quinn on the second line. Jason Sucker, Ryan McLeod, Jordan Greenway, that third line. Beckham Allenstein, Peyton Krebs, and Sam Lafferty on the fourth line. Again, this is per NHL.com. I did see Heather Engel tweet out that Nicholas Aube-Kubel was back at practice in a normal sweater, so we may see him tonight. We may see him on Saturday against Detroit, but it'll be good to get him back in the lineup. Sabres defensive pairs, we've got no change as we've had all season long. Darlene Jokiharju, Bowen Byram with Owen Power, Matthias Samuelson with Connor Clifton. Tonight's goaltender is going to be Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen coming off the win against Chicago with Devin Levi backing up unless NHL got their information. It's been pretty much a back and forth rotation, so interesting to see Luukkonen getting the start in back-to-back games. Sabre scratches and injuries. We got Jacob Bryson and Dennis Gilbert on the scratch side. Zach Benson still sidelined with a lower body injury. And it still lists Nicholas Aube-Kubel with a lower body injury. But again, we saw him at practice today or at the morning skate in a normal sweater. Tonight's odds per DraftKings. Play responsibly, play responsibly, play responsibly. Sabres are a goal and a half underdog with an over-under of 6. And the money line has Buffalo at plus 130. I did check this like really early this morning, so that may have changed. Just make sure you check the draft, check your gambling app, whether it's DraftKings or another one. If you are intent on playing, I don't play, so because I don't want to lose money. On this date, we only have to go back a couple of years, but October 22nd of 2022, Rasmus Dahlin scored for the fifth straight game, an NHL record for defensemen, to open a season in a 5-1 victory over the Vancouver Canucks, our expansion cousins. Craig Anderson stopped 29 of 30 shots in the win. Sabres improved, I believe, 4-1 at that point in the season. They got up to a decent start that season, got close to the playoffs, fell just short because they had two real long stretches of losses that season. Had they been able to stem the tide a little bit, they may have made the playoffs that year. So the week ahead, we've got Saturday against the Detroit Red Wings and Monday against the Florida Panthers. That's at home. Both games are at home, so this is an interesting stretch for the Buffalo Sabres. You got Dallas at home, you got Detroit and Florida all before the end of the month at home. Can you take advantage of these home games to right the ship a little bit? Our next episode is going to be noon on Saturday as we take on the Detroit Red Wings with the 1:00 start for that game. And that is it for the show tonight. I appreciate everyone tuning in, whether you're watching on Twitch, Twitter, Twix, YouTube, Kick, wherever you're watching us from. Give us a like, share, subscribe. Really helps out the algorithm. And we will talk to you all Saturday at noon when we talk the Detroit Red Wings.